saying to me, I love your emails. And then, I'll say things such as, so you're sending them out to your recruits too, right? They're like, oh, no, I totally forgot that. Or I'll say, so your agency recruits are sending them to your clients, right? It's like, oh, I forgot that, So we realize there's a lot of different kind of moving components going on. And because of that, we just really want to review everything. So the most important thing with regard to your emails is that we created it as a positioning tool. And a positioning tool is completely different than an educational tool. I mean, a positioning tool is designed to do that. It's just designed to keep you positioned. One of the things that many of you know, if you've been recruiting for a while, and for some of you this is kind of new, is that 50% of the agents that you're meeting with today actually are going to join you sometime over the next 12 months. But whether or not they join you over the next 12 months is really based on your follow-up and staying positioned in a positive way. So think about it this way. If we take it into the world of real estate and you meet with, as an agent, sellers are always saying, well, I'd like to see what my house is worth. And sometimes they don't necessarily list right then, but sometime over the course of the next 12 months, they are going to list. Well, your follow-up with them and staying positioned and staying constantly in contact determines whether or not you're the person that they ultimately will list with whenever that time occurs over the next 12 months. Same is true in recruiting, okay? A lot of agents are going to meet with you because they're curious about what you're doing. They're going to meet with you because they want to know more about, what you're doing. Some of your marketing has created some interest. And so therefore, they'll meet with you initially, but maybe it's just not the perfect time for them to move. But two things happen once an agent meets with you. You kind of open that door to getting that agent on your team full time. But more importantly, you also get them thinking along lines of, geez, I wonder what my other options are. So many brokers will conduct the interview. If the person hasn't joined, they're just kind of like, oh, well, you know what? They didn't join and there's no follow-up system. And the next thing they know, sometime over the next year, that agent has joined another team. Well, that's because if you open that door and you get them thinking about making a move, but you aren't following up, but anybody else gets in touch with them, then that person is more likely to have the agent sign up with them. Okay, and hopefully that makes sense. Also, we also know that 70% of all agents are emotional. And they base their decision to join you on emotions and trust. And that means that it's more than just they'll make more money with you, or you've got better tools, you've got more market share, or you've got something that's unique that someone else doesn't have. That's the educational component of it. So we're going to educate people as to why they should consider your firm when they're looking to make a move. And we're going to give you a format for that in a few minutes. But it's also, do they like you? Do they trust you? Do they like your reputation? How will they feel as a member of your team? One of the things that we were looking to accomplish when we created this tool several years ago was that we wanted it to be a 3-tiered product. Okay, 3-tiered product means this. We create one tool that allows you to basically retain or recruit agents through 3 different platforms. So the first platform is that each week this goes out to your own agents, and I think most of you do a pretty good job of copying, pasting, and putting this information into a template that basically says this is from you to your team. So we don't want any credit for it, okay? We want to make sure that you're the one sending this out to your team and they think of, wow, I just love this stuff my broker sends to me every Monday morning. The second tier is that it goes to your recruits. And when it goes out to your recruits, it is what we call a positive way to stay positioned, even though many of your recruits are not thinking about making a move right now. Now, here's the difference between a recruiting tool and a positioning tool. A recruiting tool makes it very clear to the candidate that you do want to recruit them and you're trying to get them to meet with you right away. If they have no interest in meeting with you, and then they're going to resist your attempts to recruit them, and they won't necessarily read anything because what they're thinking is, look, I don't want to make a move, I'm happy. And so therefore, and this is the same in farming with agents, if a seller has no interest in making a move, they don't really respond to stuff that says, we'd like to tell you what your house is worth. We'd like to show you what we can do for you to move. A positioning tool is something that stays around and keeps your name in front of them. So for an agent, a positioning tool might be a refrigerator magnet. It might be a newsletter, updates them on what's going on in their community. So everyone wants to know what's going on in their community, even if they're not selling, but it keeps your face and your name in front of them. We had to do the same thing with you as a broker, knowing that you have a large group of agents that you're trying to recruit who aren't necessarily ready to join you at that specific time. We want to make sure that we can keep you positioned. Okay, so this is what this tool does. The email is motivational, stays positioned with your recruits until they're ready. And for your agents, just a great retention tool. But here's where it gets really cool. It's the third tier. Now, the third tier means your recruits and your agents should be sending this to all of their clients and customers, their friends, their family, and even encouraging their friends and family and clients and past clients to send it on to other people that they know. So that when your agents and your recruits send it to their clients, customers, friends, family, they're going to put it into a template that has their name on it and their contact information. And it will do the same thing with their clients and customers that it's doing for you with your agents and recruits. It's keeping them positioned. Now, when they're positioned every week with something that people will read because it's fun, it's entertaining, it's helpful, there's tips in there. Maybe there's so many times we hear agents coming up to brokers and saying, like, I really needed that message this week. It just felt like it was for me. Well, when those people begin listing their houses or buying a house with your agents or your potential recruits, it ties their business to you. Okay. Now, once you've tied an agent's business to you and their clients start saying, wow, you know what? It was perfect timing because, my neighbor's getting ready to sell their house. And I thought, oh yeah, I should tell them to use Judy. And suddenly that agent picks up business. Maybe they make $5,000, $10,000. Why? Because you created a tool that keeps them positioned. So that's our three tiers. I want to make sure that everybody remembers that all three are really important. But you have to make sure that you are encouraging your agents and your recruits to send it out, and that you're also, letting them know. Create your own template. Make it from you. I don't need credit from it. So just like this, I don't need credit when you're sending it to your agents. Make sure that they know that they don't have to give you credit for it.
Judy, real quick on that, what a lot of our members do is they are sending those emails out, those newsletters out every Monday morning. And it is keeping them positioned, but they're putting it in like an eye contact or a constant contact or an email platform where they can actually make that template branded to them. And
right.
Then on one column of that newsletter, they're also showcasing who they are as a company. So it's a
right.
softer way to get your information out there. So maybe on one column, you're showcasing an agent every week, or you're showcasing what your upcoming training is, or you're talking about what your value proposition is, or what you're focused on value proposition wise that month. And
right.
that way, and you're personalizing that message a little bit. So it's kind of it's a soft sell. So you are showing, you're spotlighting your own agents. That's great for them. That makes them feel good. And it's also showing other agents, your prospects, that, that you're in it, that you're recognizing agents, that you're that kind of broker. So right. I think that's really effective. And I just want to throw that in there.
Thank you so much for that, Julie, and great information. And feel free to jump at any time, please. So as I kind of have shared with you, education versus positioning, this deals with marketing. So this is the time of year when you really should be thinking about how are you going to market to your potential recruits throughout 2018. And one of the things that we know about recruiting is you can't really control what causes them to leave most of the time, but you can control what you do between now and then. Okay. So for example, you can educate them as to who you are, what you can do for them, and what's happened when other agents have joined you. You can build trust between now and then, and you can stay positioned, okay? So when they are ready to look at their options, Will you be the first company that they think about? And that's really at all times when you're thinking about education and positioning, that's the question you should be thinking is how do we make sure that they think of us? I love this quote by Joyce Meyer. It's one of my favorite quotes, and I think it's so appropriate for brokers who don't always have a lot of patience. But the quote is this: patience is not the ability to wait, but how you act while you're waiting. And when you think about that, it means, if you interview them and they just say, look, I'm just not really interested in doing anything right now. Do you just say, well, fine, I got other fish to fry, I'm gonna move on? Or do you say, hey, that's okay, you go right back into my database, my list. I'm going to continue educating you, continue showing what's happened to other people who are making the decision to move, because someday you will move. And the goal is that day that you move, I'm going to make sure that I'm the first person that you think about. So let's talk about marketing. One of the mistakes a lot of brokers have made is that they have quit doing a lot of hard copy marketing. And hard copy marketing is really, really important. When I talk to recruiters always tell me the same thing. If their company stops marketing, it makes it that much harder for them to get in front of agents. So what is marketing designed to do? It pre-sells them on joining you. It pre-sells them on the why, okay? So marketing is going to make it easier for you to book your appointments, and it should make it easier for you to recruit those agents. The most important thing with marketing when it comes to recruiting is promoting your results. I recommend that 12 times a year, a hard copy goes out to everyone on your hit list that promotes your results in some way. It could be a testimonial of an agent that says, here's what happened when I joined this team. Here's the difference between where I was and where I'm at now. It could be an agent who's talks about using a tool and how much easier it is to list properties and things of that nature. But once a month, they should get a hard copy of something. Now, the Profit Recruiter emails are going to keep you positioned. So what we have there is the first one is an educational tool. The second one is the positioning tool called, if you're not looking to make a move right now, that's okay. I just want to give you something fun and keep my name in front of you until the time comes that you are ready to do something. I also think that having social events for networking purposes for recruiting, just like you do as an agent with your clients, is also really important. I always like to say when they play with your agents, they suddenly are more comfortable with the idea of making that move. It could be a summer barbecue that you invite agents who have sold one of your listings to. It can be a holiday event where everyone you've worked with throughout the course of the year is invited, and other people that your agents enjoy networking and working with. So there's a couple of times a year where you've got some, easy opportunities to say, hey, you know what? We had a great year. From your numbers, it looks like you had a great year too. We're celebrating another successful year in real estate for everyone. It's going to be a fun event. We've invited everyone that we've done business with over the past year. We'd love to have you come and join us. Make it safe for them to attend these social events. And the way that you build the relationship and build the trust is to use your personal Facebook page to build that relationship and trust. And so we've already talked to you about the 20-10-5-1 rule. If you haven't done this yet, you absolutely should. So if you go to your business, use your business page actually to promote your results, okay? So people always ask me, what's the difference between your personal Facebook page and the business one? The business page should always be about who's joined your team, what your team is doing, what you do to support your team, things of that nature. That's your business page, okay? Your personal page is really just about you, okay? We want them to like you and trust you, learn about your family, and so you also have to be very careful with your personal Facebook page. My personal belief with regard to that is that you should not be putting controversial things on your Facebook page or allowing controversial people to, start conversations that are going to alienate one side or the other based on their belief. Okay, if the personal Facebook page is designed to build the relationship and trust of people that you want to work with, keep it very neutral, keep it very motivational, inspirational. You can put quotes on there, some things about your family, what you do with your hobbies and things of that nature. All of you should have a list set up for your recruits and for your agents. And a list is different than a group. No one knows they're on a list. But if you use this URL that's on the page and you set up a list for recruits and one for your agents, the list gets parked over on the left-hand side of the Facebook page. And the Facebook rule is 20-10-5-1. That means each day, first thing in the morning, spend 20 minutes on Facebook, like 10 of the things that your recruits are saying, make 5 comments, and extend one personal invitation via private message to a recruit asking them to meet with you. What this does is, and I always say do your recruits first thing in the morning and do your own agents at the end of the day, so you know what's happening with your own agents. But what this does is it gives you 85 touches to your recruits first thing in the morning each week, and 85 touches to your own agents each week, because it's 10 times 5 is 50, 5 times 5 is 25, so up to 75, and then 5 times 1 is another 5. Oh, sorry, 80. 80 touches here. Yeah, something like that. It's a big number. So 80 touches to your recruits first thing during the day, and 80 touches to your own agents at the end of the day. Now, if you haven't tried this, here's the cool thing about a list. When you click on that list, it only shows you the feed from your recruits on your recruit list, and you set up a different list for your agents. It only shows you the feed from your existing agents. So you are not going through all the commercials and all kinds of other stuff, trying to look for what your recruits are saying, or typing their names in one at a time. So take the time to set up your list. Make sure that you do this first thing in the morning as well as at the end of the day.
So Judy, we do have a question. Why 20 minutes? Can you go back to that last slide?
Sure. Why 20 minutes? Just because that's all it's going to take, quite honestly. We don't want you spending all day long on Facebook, but if it's set up in that list and you're only looking at the feed from, let's say, your recruits first thing in the morning, it's going to be very easy to like 10 things. Just look at it, go like, you know. Oh, here's something I'll comment on. Wow, what a cute little baby. Oh, geez, look at that. Your first steps, you know. What a beautiful wedding. So, you know, just like comment on 5 things that are legitimate things you can comment on, like 10 things, and then just take one of those people that have posted something and then private message them. So combine what they posted with the private message. It might be, wow, Julie, that is one of my very favorite quotes of all times. And you're right, you know, attitude, you really makes the difference. And we love your attitude. And we love to talk to you about what we're doing over here, you know, and when can we,
I think for some 20 minutes, they need to put a timer on, because I think it can be a time drain. So a lot of our members actually do use a timer so that they don't stay longer than that 20 minutes. Get in, get it done, and move on to the next task.
Right, you know, that is a great idea.
Promote your results 12 times a year via hard copy. By what you mean by hard copy are letters, flyers, lumpy mail, postcards.
Right, lumpy mail, flyers,
that kind of thing.
something that's going to land in their hands. So because, you know, with emails, you also have to, let me just kind of go back here, you have to make sure that you have permission to send the emails and that they see the value in getting them. And if you let agents know that, look, we're not going to send you a ton of stuff, but, you know, every Monday morning, this is a great message. It's something you can use with your clients, customers, pass them on. Make sure that I'm not blocked. Because agents will pick up 6 additional transactions a year just taking this information and sending it on to their clients and customers. You know, it's a way for you to put an extra $50,000 in your pocket next year, and, you know, something we do for agents, we'd like to do it for you too. So when you get that permission and there's a value in what they're going to receive, they're going to keep it. But unfortunately, sometimes agents just decide to not look at stuff or block you, and so that's why hard copy is important, that it go into their house. And there's also other people that they're living with. So let's just say that they see this stuff coming in all the time, and that agent's unhappy with their current company. You want whoever it is that lives in that household with them to say, well, then why don't you check out this other company? Because they seem like they're doing a lot of great things, and a lot of agents are joining them, and, you know, it never hurts to know your options.
So in that vein, let us share that one of the things, well, actually several things that we do, yes, we provide an email newsletter for you each week, but we're also going to give you that hard copy content. So we do
Right.
have what's called lumpy letters, and those lumpy letters they're fun objects, things that you can send in a padded envelope that really get an agent's attention. That's for your top tier. So that might be your top 10 or 20 agents that you really, really want to recruit, and you're going to send that out. Some send it every month, some send it every other month. You always have a couple of different options. That's a great way for that really top tier agent to create a buzz with them, and it makes that phone call so much easier.
Right.
We also provide you with seasonal letters. Now that seasonal letter is great to put on your, copy and paste onto your letterhead and send that out to at least 100 agents every month. So you're staying in front of them. And then, so those are 2 items that you can send hard copy. And then Judy also recommends that you look at what are 12 value propositions that you provide as a company.
Right.
And you can send content wrapped around that. So that might be a flyer or a postcard where you've got a testimonial, like she said, a testimonial from one of your agents that back up one of those specific items.
Right.
We do have what is the best strategy to get permission to send weekly emails if you've not spoken to them yet. And our second question, which is a burning question for a lot of brokers right now, how do you get their home addresses? It is best to send it to their home if you're sending lumpy letters, for example.
That's right.
What's the best way to do that?
Best way to do that, please write this down exactly as I say it. Best way to get the home address is to ask them.
No, come on.
Yeah, that is exactly it. You have to talk to these agents anyways. At the end of every call, when you look at their contact sheet, if you do not see that you have their home address, you simply say, do you mind if I send you my business card? And therefore, if something does change with your current situation, you'll have my contact information there. Agents will say yes, because they just want to get you off the phone at that point. And say, great, can I get your home address, please? So every time you talk to an agent, and again, if you're making your calls every day, it's not going to take you more than a month to get through your hit list. By the end of the month, really by the time you start next year, you should have them. Now this time of year, you can do one more thing to get their address. You can actually delegate that to an admin person on your team. So let's just say my admin person could call every recruit and say, Judy LaDeur would like to send out a holiday card. And can we get your home address, please? And or Judy LaDeur would like to send out a New Year's card, a special New Year's card to you. Can we get your home address, please? So this time of year, because they're accustomed to getting holiday cards from different people, they'll give you that address really easily. Plus, they'll give it to an admin person also very easily. So if you just want to put that on your list of things to have an admin person do for you between now and when recruiting season starts in about a month from now, that's a great way to get them.
That's awesome. And in even past the holidays, one good idea is have that admin call because Judy wants to send you a thank you card for co-broking, one of our listings, and send you a little something, and it could be something as simple as a Starbucks card or something like that. But that's a great reason too.
Right.
John wanted us to repeat the 2 hard copy items. The 2 hard copy items that we provide each month are the lumpy letters. So it's a letter that you're going to copy and paste onto your letterhead, but you're going to include a little item of value. The second one are seasonal letters. And we are actually getting ready to put some additional resources on the site where we're going to add letters for co-broke and letters for different interactions that your agents might have with other agents and interactions that you might have. So we're going to start adding those letters to a resource library on the site as well. So those are some of the sneak peeks into what's coming up in 2018 for us. So those are things you can copy and paste and
So
put on your.
We're going to talk about our tool of the month, Julie.
You have a Zoom thing on your.
Hold on.
Thanks. The newsletter is electronic only. Yes, John. That's the Monday morning motivational email that we send out. It's got a little message, and then it's got something to think about for them, and then it's also got some tools, specific agent plan. Here's something an agent can do that ties to that message that they can use to improve their business. And in that note too, one of the other things that you're going to get in those Monday morning emails are for you, the broker, and that's going to be what you as a broker can do retention and recruiting wise to stay on track, and that's going to tie to that message as well. So we're going to kind of prompt you every week as to here's what you can do this week to improve your recruiting.
Awesome.
Best strategy to get permission to send weekly emails. I would say ask that as well. You know, and if you've had some interaction with them, in other words, if your company has done business with them, if they have been in a co-broke, I would say you can go ahead and send that. You may want to send it at your first round of sending newsletters. You may want to send an initial email, a blanket email to everybody, just saying, hey, we're getting ready to kick off the new year with weekly newsletters. We promise it'll be inspirational. It'll be no stress. It'll be, you know, it's just something that will help you improve your business this year. We hope you love it. We'd love to hear from you, that kind of thing. Just something really soft to send it first, and
right.
then you can start sending the emails. And of course, if somebody does opt out, you know, respect that opt out. But from everything that we've seen, and all of our members contact us. I just spoke with the broker last week who said, you know, he's amazed. He really went into this thinking that it wouldn't really work very much, but he's loved it. Not only have the recruiting prospects contacted him and say they loved it, and it was just like you said, it's just what I needed to hear this week, but also his current staff of agents, they're like, this is great, you know. So it really fuels that relationship, and that's really what it's designed to do.
Right. And do we want to talk about some of the tools that we're going to introduce this year?
Sure.
I mean, we're just starting to work on it, but
we also want to direct everybody to the blog. If you haven't been reading the blog posts, please do go on to profitablerecruiter.com, and you can search that by content. A couple of the ones that we really like to spotlight, one of our members was kind enough to share his strategy, which was rising stars and falling stars. And that's where he looks into his MLS each month and sees the agents who are either falling in production or increasing in production. And those are the people that he kind of puts on his hit list. There's a second-year agent. We love that strategy as well. That's the perfect way to look at agents who've been in the business long enough that they're not quite so green, but you know, when they've been in the business that 12 to 18-year period or 18-month period, that's when they start to know what they don't know, and it's a great opportunity to then they start looking. So those are great agents to recruit as well.
Because some tools that we want to create for you over the course of the year, we want to do like our tool of the month, just like we have our book of the month. And a tool of the month are going to be things that you can use, such as, let's say, people are always asking us, do we have a template to announce your new hires? And so we're going to create a few different templates that we'll release as a tool of the month. Also, the big one, which everyone always asks for, is can we create the template for the presentation folder where you stair-step your different uniques and you open up your folder. We're going to create a template for that so you can just drop information in. So a lot of different templates that when we are, when you're recruiting throughout the course of the year, things that you need to make everything look customized, we'll just release one tool a month for you. Invitations, new office announcements. Another thing that we get a lot of is, you're talking to an owner of another company, maybe they have a small team, and that owner wants to know, how do we approach somebody that has their own office to close down their company and join us. And a sample press release showing, it in a very positive spin is a really cool thing. So there's just a lot of things throughout the course of the year that people ask me, through coaching, and our members ask us, do you have this? We just decided that now is a great time to really just introduce some of those tools to you, create them as templates that you can easily customize, and we'll just create one per month for you.
Awesome. If anybody does have any recruiting questions for Judy, she will take those at this time. Judy, I do get asked quite a bit if members can put additional managers on their account, and the answer to that is yes.
Of course.
You can have up to 10 people on your account, and that can be other managers in your office, admins. We actually do recommend that you put your admin. I just had a call with a broker yesterday, a new member, and one of the things we can do is kind of onboard you. If you've got a group of people that are coming onto the system at the same time, we're happy to set up a GoToMeeting and walk you through the system so that you can kind of see for yourself what's inside of it, how to use it, what the best practices are. I can show you examples of what other brokers are doing in terms of their email newsletter and how they set that up effectively. One of the best practices, we have some brokers that wait until they get their email every Monday and they copy and paste that and then send that on to their recruits and their current staff. We actually recommend that you actually go in the system at the end of the month, pull that information and drop it into your email platform. And that way you take an hour at the end of every month, you make sure that you go through everything. We're going to send this letter out to these agents. We're going to send these lumpy letters out to these agents. Sit with your admin, make that a practice at the last week of every month so that you hit the ground running every month. And that way you've got a system in place, you've got some tools in place that you know you can count on, and it sure makes those dials a lot easier.
Okay.
Christian asks, what's a manageable number of recruiting leads to pursue? That's a great question, and we've gotten that a lot.
I'm sorry, I was just, I think I'm finally on. Is my screen, is it showing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hallelujah. So what did Christian ask?
What's a manageable number of recruiting leads to pursue? I know that's kind of per broker, but can you give them a number that's manageable, or what you've found in your coaching members?
I usually recommend that brokers and managers try to maintain contact and build relationships with about 100 people at a time, unless you're a full-time recruiter, and that number can be somewhere between 250 to 350 if you're a full-time recruiter. Managing relationships is different than maybe an overall hit list. So sometimes people have, 400 or 500 people that they're marketing to, but when it comes to building relationships, think of it this way. If your Facebook rule allows you to make 85 touches or 80 touches per week, and you've got, you should be talking to 5 agents per day, per week, or for 3 days a week. So you got 15 conversations per week times 4 weeks, 50, that's 60, 60 a month. Number of agents you're talking to, which means after 2 months, maybe you've talked to 120, which means you've covered your hit list. You should talk to someone every 2 months and have a marketing piece go out one time per month. And again, they should see something from you on Facebook, at least once a week. 100 to 125 is a very manageable number of agents to work with. Some of our brokers are in smaller marketplaces. They just don't have that many. Very few brokers don't have that number of agents that they can build relationships with. That doesn't mean that those are the ones that you want. This is just people that, could potentially qualify as members of your team. So, it is a farming list. So everybody should have 100 to 150.
I like that.
You can have more.
Both my manager and I recruit, but I'm trying to make sure there are no overlaps in our duties. Should be working with 2 separate lists or split the touches between the same amount. We have a large market, over 4,000.
So you can create what's called your A, B, and C list. So an A list is your active pipeline. An active pipeline consists of 2 types of agents. Ones that you've interviewed that are still talking to you about joining, and those that are set to come in for interviews. You should always have 10 people in that A list or more. So that means at all times you're talking to 10 people about joining, or you've got some people coming in to talk to you about joining. Your B list typically are the people that you are building the relationship with. So I usually recommend that your B list is, again, around 100 to 150. Those are people that you're going to talk to every 60 days. They're going to get marketing from you once a month. You're going to network them a lot on Facebook. C list ends up being everybody else. So that C list can be 1,000, 4,000, 10,000. I don't really care. The C list, though, you're going to do email marketing to them. So you'll send out your weekly emails to them. You'll only send out maybe 2 hard copy marketing pieces per year. And when you don't have someone to talk to, and you want to go up and maybe someone in your C list has a transaction with one of your agents. Maybe it's somebody that you're friends with on Facebook. Just go up and start grabbing people from your C list to build those relationships, bring them into your B list as you begin recruiting agents from the B list, because they then go into your A list and then get signed up. So your C list is just that other large group of people that you just kind of keep something in front of, stay positioned with them, a little bit of education, a couple of calls, but we have a large market. You can do that. You can also, sometimes in a large market, you have more than one person that is talking to agents and sending stuff to them. So, you might have 5 managers, covering 500 to 800 people on your B list that you're building relationships with.
Excellent.
I'm trying to shut this up.
So why don't we just quickly show them this is the back end of the site. So when you log in, this is what you would see. Each month, you're going to go into that weekly newsletter for agents. You're going to click on that. You're going to copy those out and put those in your email platform, just like we talked about.
So like so all of your letters are pre-done so that you've got them all first of the month. See, so you just copy paste it, put in eye contact, constant contact or whatever, have your admin person spend a few, an hour at the beginning of each month, load them all up, and then you're done. Set it and forget it. I think they had a commercial like that, right?
Now when you go back, the broker challenges, those I recommend that you copy each week out and pop into your Outlook calendar or your Google calendar or your Apple calendar or your old-fashioned calendar, whatever kind of calendar that's a great reminder for you to do these items each week, which keeps you engaged. It references the topic at hand, but it keeps you chatting with them and keeps you engaged with both your current staff as well as the people that you are looking to be to bring on.
Right, and challenges are not personal challenges. Challenges are us challenging you to get more engaged with your office from the recruiting and retention standpoint. And if we go back, let's see, come back here. We got the lumpy letters. A lot. Our brokers love these. People always ask me, so what are lumpy letters? I'm like, they're lumpy when you get them. And so we do give you lumpy letter ideas each month. Look at that charge ahead. Isn't that so cute? Basically, lumpy letters mean that you buy something that goes in the letter, and you create a little letter that is designed around your thing. So if we look at charge ahead, as a busy agent on the run, sometimes you need a little extra something to charge up your day. So just say we love what you're doing in the market. We appreciate how hard you work for our customers and our brand. And we're giving our agents what they need to succeed, seriously, but we do have a great time while we're at it. I thought it'd be fun to have a little charge to you and hopefully make your day. So got a little charger here. So it's just a cute little letter that you can add something to, and everyone will always open up a letter when it's lumpy. So that's why we call them lumpy letters.
Now, I do want to quickly say on the homepage for December, we have it in November as well. We've got our business plannings for both agents and brokers, as well as Judy's personality types. Those are not always there. So when you log in, go ahead and download those. And if you'll see the tab up there in the nav that says scripts for recruiters, one of the first things we tell our new members to do is go to that scripts page, download those all, be old-fashioned about it, print them out, put them in a binder, and practice, drill, and rehearse. I know that sounds old-fashioned, but it works. You want, when you're sitting in front of agents, you want to be as calm, confident, and competent as you can. And these scripts will help you do that, as well as business planning resources. You'll note there's an audio. Please don't click on the audio one right now. On the audio download link, there's actually a code there that will unlock 7.5 hours of audio training. And that's Judy, soup to nuts, everything you need to recruit agents, to manage those appointments, to handle those interviews, to handle the objections, to handle the stalls, and know the difference between an objection and a stall. So there's a little bit of everything. You'll also see there's a webinars on demand tab here. And we literally have over 50 webinars that you can go in. It's a great strategy. There's both agent webinars and broker webinars in here. What a lot of our members do is they'll pull up the the agent webinars. They'll put it on in the conference room, and that's a training for the week, you know. So, or pull some of the content out. We've got top brokers and top agents from around the world, not just the country, believe it or not, that share what's working for them, some amazing strategies, some things that, you know, we're blown away for. Judy and I have both been in the business over 25 years, things that we've never heard, you know. So it's exciting, and it's great content and great information, and just fun to listen to. So take some time and make it a practice to once a week go in, pick a webinar and watch it. When Judy's talking about that 20-10 5-1 rule, one of the webinars in here is with Roberta Ross. It's up towards the beginning, and she explains that in depth. So please be sure to check that out when you're in there. So there's lots of resources in here, lots of training resources, and we also provide kind of a phone a friend support, you know. So not necessarily phone, but you can email us. We just had a broker yesterday that was in crisis. Shot us an email. What do I do? Judy says, here's what you do. Okay, that's awesome. So it's terrific because honestly, there's not a whole lot Judy hasn't heard in her travels with all of this. These are archives, so we'll always have the last 3 months archive in here, so you can kind of pick through and look at those and see if some of those letters resonate more with you as well. What else? I think that's it. Does anybody have any additional questions for us? We're coming close. I know it's been a lot of fun.
And the only other thing I want to show is that the blog, Julie does such a great job of keeping our blog up to date. But almost every question that you can think of, like any question that you could ask, if you go up there and search on our blog, you'll find information about almost everything on the blog. So Julie, you do such an amazing job of keeping that filled with great content, and thank you so much for that. So everything's there. You guys are always asking about the desk behavior stuff, so it's all there.
And incentives, I would definitely go check that out. The incentives one has been a big question. I've had quite a few brokers asking me about that as they're getting ready to budget for the year ahead. Incentives have been a question for them.
Right.
So I would definitely read that. The blog is for anybody. You don't have to be a member to read that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jamila says, and I hope I didn't just destroy your name, darling. As a broker, I understand I have to follow up on my A list and have my manager focus on the B and C list. Is that the best strategy?
Well, no, the A list, it only has 2 categories of agents in it. You have already interviewed them and they're interested in joining, and you're continuing that conversation until you get them signed up. Or it's someone who's not yet joined, but you have the appointment set. So you might have 4 agents that you have interviewed that you're still talking to, and you got 6 agents set to come in for interviews over the next couple of weeks. So that would give you your 10 people in your A list. So whoever has interviewed that person is the one that's following up with them. And of course, you're following up with the people that you've got the appointment set with to confirm the appointment. The B list is where you're building those relationships. So depending upon how you have it set up in your company, but A list pretty much means that's that's your potential new recruits that are in your pipeline to be signing up this month or next.
So Judy, based on that, for the lumpy letters, would that go to that would go to a portion, that would go to the A list and a portion of the B list then, or?
Typically, well, anybody on the A list is basically has just been brought, like the agents on the B list that have decided to come in. So your lumpy letter, most brokers take 25 agents from the B list that you really want to get face-to-face with over the next 6 months, and you keep lumpy letters going out to that top 25 one time a month, and following up with them to get them in for an interview. Once they agree to meet with you, they now move into that A list. So you keep the A list agents are going to continue to get everything that they were getting as a B list agent until they actually sign up. So the only thing an A list.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, it just means they're in the pipeline to join soon.
So we are recording this, and it is going to be on the blog for everybody to rewatch if they'd like. That was another question. Let's see. Should I put my admin on? The answer to that is yes. That makes your life a lot easier. And it probably makes their life easier too, because then they have a little bit of control to go in and do what they need to do. Let's see. How do I get testimonials from my own agents? What's the best way to do that?
You know what,
Ask them.
yeah, ask them, that's right. Ask them. Yeah, just ask your agents, especially, you know, what happens is people walk up to you all the time and they say things such as, geez, I'm so glad I joined, or geez, I'm so glad we're part of this, you know, we have this tool or whatever. And just say, well, tell me a little more about that. And then, you know, as they're talking to you about tools they enjoy using or reasons they enjoy, you know, reasons that they're glad they joined, just say, do you mind if I put that into writing? And, you know, because we have so many agents that we're talking to that are just like, well, is it really going to be any different there? And I'd love to be able to share your comments with them. Agents will always say yes. So get it from them verbally. You put it in writing because they have the best of intentions, but you'll wait forever getting it from them. And then just say to them, is this kind of, you know, like before I say that this is, you know, kind of how you feel, I just want to make sure that you agree with what I put down here. But yeah, just, you know, talk to them and then you write it out.
I love it. All righty. I think that's it. Oh, we do have what is going on in the industry? Why are agents moving? Is it the same old, or is it technology?
Yeah, I think first off, the stronger the market, and we're in a very strong market now for a few years, they're getting hit constantly. You know, they know that they have a lot of options. They know that they can look at their options. I think, again, if agents are happy, they aren't moving. That's the frustrating thing. But if they're not completely happy, this is the time of year where they will make the move, because first off, we're at the end of the year. So everything they're hearing is new year, new beginning. What will next year, how will you do something different next year? You know, do you need a new job, new place to work? I mean, everything's about new, you know, 2 weeks from now. So that whole new beginnings thing is hovering, plus their inventory is low. So most agents have fewer listings right now and fewer pendings as they start the new year. It's a convenient time for them to make a move. So because most brokers know that it's more convenient, the recruiting gets, you know, is at a very high level in January, and agents are at a very convenient time to move, which is why January is a huge recruiting season. And that's where your focus has to be and your priority has to be there as well.
Lovely. Frida asks, are we a fan of video cards or the BombBomb videos?
Yes, absolutely. Videos are great.
I would say try it all. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, definitely. You know, videos are a great way to message out, educate people, let them get to like see your face. Kind of like watching a TV show every week. It's the same thing with Facebook. It's like anytime they can see you over and over, they're like, hey, I think I like this person. And that's a big part of recruiting. So